Howdy, and thanks for joining us for At Ease. You may notice that I don't have my vibrant, vivacious, and brilliant co-host Susan Balabina here with us today. This is our first attempt at a podcast without her, and I got to tell you, it's a traumatic thing for me. I'm missing Susan. She's now working for Chancellor Glenn Hager as his executive vice chancellor at the Texas A&M University system, and is essentially his right-hand woman for everything that he's trying to do with our great system. But we're going to miss Susan in the office. The good news is she didn't really go away. Turns out she's kind of ever present, and she appears in the strangest places and will continue to do so. Susan's place was taken by Dr. Tim Scott, who was our vice provost previously. Tim is a great guy, a great scientist, great researcher, great professor and teacher, and he's going to be a great chief of staff for our office. We're really happy to have him there. He brings a ton of institutional knowledge to the team as well, which will be very helpful. We've had some other leadership changes on campus here over the summer, which I want to update you on. First of all, Mr. Bill Kibler has come home. Bill spent years here early in his career working in the Division of Student Affairs, and he's now back as our Vice President for Student Affairs. After doing that same job at Mississippi State University, he served as a president of a couple of different universities and returned this summer back home to College Station. We are really glad to have him back on board. We also welcomed a new commandant over the summer. Lieutenant General Chip Bierman, United States Marine Corps, is the new commandant of the Fighting Texas Aggie Corps Cadets. Chip just retired from the Marine Corps with almost 4 decades of experience, more than 20 years of total command experience, which is tremendous for us. And he's just a great, great human being. He and his wife, Beth, are settling into College Station. You will love both of them when you get a chance to meet them. And then, of course, Judge Ernie Aliseda just took over as our Associate Vice President and Chief Operating Officer at the Higher Education Center in McAllen. Ernie brings more than 3 decades of distinguished experience in higher education, governance, law, public service, and military leadership to A&M. He's a retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel. He's a retired state district judge, and he most recently served as the General Counsel for DHR Health. Welcome, Ernie. It's really great to have you on the team as well. It's been a busy summer. I hope you guys have had a great one. I hope you've had a chance to relax a little bit and spend time with family and friends and decompress. Folks here on campus have been busy. Our new student and our family services offices hosted 22 new student conferences over the summer, with about 14,300 incoming students attending those conferences. They do a spectacular job of welcoming new Aggies and their families to campus and making them feel comfortable and at home here in Aggie Land. And Betty and I also had the honor of attending Fish Camp this summer. We were proud to serve as namesakes for Fish Camp Section F Green, Camp Welsh. We had a lot of good fishies in our camp. It was a great time. It was kind of like being plugged into a wall socket for 3 days if you're 70 years old. The energy level was off the charts. It was spectacular. And the best part was watching our great, great counselors take the new fish and kind of grow them very, very quickly into Aggies. It was fun to watch. It was a real privilege to be there. Thank you to Student Affairs. Thank you to the Fish Camp student directors and counselors. Thanks to all the people who chose to come to Fish Camp. We had about 5,000 new fish go through Fish Camp this summer up in Palestine. We also awarded about 2,000 diplomas at our August commencement ceremony and commissioned 14 new officers into the U.S. military, which is always an exciting thing to watch. The other exciting thing to watch at graduation ceremonies is the group of faculty and staff who come together every cycle to present tremendous ceremonies for our students so they can have the privilege of going out with a class act. They're led by Vanessa Heidick, our university registrar. Vanessa has a group of 50 to 60 people, many of whom have been doing this for 20 to 30 years. They're everything from university distinguished professors to staff directors to new employees here on campus, and they come together to do everything from line students up, check rosters, get them in their seats in the right order, take care of security in the building, do camera shots throughout the ceremony. It is just a tremendous group of people who come together to make sure your last Aggie experience is a great one. So my thanks to each and every one of them. We've also had great progress over the summer on our new citizenship and service initiative. You're going to hear more about that as the school year starts, and we'll talk a little bit about it on here probably in future episodes. And we're also planning for a spring 2026 National Security Forum. We're going to run a beta test of that new program and try and basically connect America to its policymakers in the national security arena. We think we need to be telling them something, not just listening to what they're saying. And so we're going to get on that here this next year. We also next year will start our sesquicentennial event, our 150th birthday celebration for Texas A&M, which is going to be a big, big deal. It'll start next summer about this time, and it'll go through the summer of 2027. Now, there was one other big event this summer that I know many of you were following, and that's Miss Rev undergoing surgery after being diagnosed with glaucoma. And I'm happy to report that Miss Rev is doing well. She'll even stop by for a short visit with us today on the show. So we'll take a quick break, and then we'll welcome our guest today, Miss Rev, Mascot Corporal Wilson Winchester, class of 28, handler for Reveille 10, and Dr. Stacy Ekman. Stacy is the Associate Dean for Hospital Operations and the Chief Executive Officer of the Veterinary Medical Teaching Hospital, and she's a longtime primary veterinarian for our wonderful mascot. We'll see you in a few.
I'm Holly Hudson, and I am the Associate Vice President for Global Engagement here at Texas A&M.
And I'm Rob Dixon. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications for the Graduate and Professional School. KAMU is a great resource for news, culture, arts, and entertainment.
There's something on KAMU for everyone, and there's so much excess in content out there on television today. It's really nice to have a source that you can go to for information and education that's also entertaining, that spans generations.
And again, it's a free resource that's available to everyone. And with public support in question for public broadcasting, it's now more important than ever that we support public broadcasting. So go to the website at the bottom of your screen and donate today.
Howdy, and welcome back. We're here now with our two guests for today. First, Wilson Winchester, a rising sophomore from Fort Worth, is in Company E2 in the Corps of Cadets. He was selected as Mascot Corporal earlier this year and will care for and accompany Reveille 10 on all of her appearances over the course of the 2025-2026 school year. Wilson, it's great to have you here, bud.
Thank you for having me.
Tell me a little bit about how you became Mascot Corporal real quick.
Of course. So to become Mascot Corporal, you first have to be a full-time member of the Corps of Cadets, and you have to be in Company E2, which is an outfit in the Corps of Cadets. Every year we do a tryout where you learn the history of all of the past Reveilles and give speeches to prepare you for what an event would be like taking Miss Rev out in public, and based on those proceedings, you're chosen to be her caretaker.
So you're kind of a mascot historian, too.
Yes, sir. We're ready to answer all questions on current and past Reveilles.
Fantastic. Thanks for being here today, Wilson. Thanks for what you're doing for A&M and Aggies everywhere. Also with us today, Dr. Stacy Ekman, who earned her Doctor of Veterinary Medicine degree from A&M in 2001. Stacy practiced in Corpus Christi after completing her degree, and after 8 years of small animal private practice, she returned to A&M in 2009 as a faculty member in the College of Vet Medicine and Biomedical Sciences. As Associate Dean of Hospital Operations, what do you do, Stacy?
Well, thank you for having me. I basically steer the bus that is the ship of the hospital. We make sure that fourth-year students have the appropriate education to go out and practice veterinary medicine, and that fourth year is where they get to actually be with clients and patients every day. My job is to make sure they have what they need and the doctors have what they need to make that magic happen.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yep.
What has been, now you had an additional duty for a long time, which has been a pretty special one. Can you tell everybody what that is?
Yes, sir. I had the distinct privilege of caring for Reveilles 7, 8, 9, and just a piece of 10.
Yeah, fantastic. How's that been?
Oh, man, it's been one of the honors of my professional career.
Yeah, especially as an Aggie vet, I would think that would be incredible.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, thank you for doing it so well, and thanks for taking great care of her here recently. We'll talk more about that. As you can see, Miss Rev's doing great. She's snoozing here and kind of chilling out while we go through the podcast, but she'll probably wake up and say howdy here in a minute. I just hope she doesn't bark before we're finished. We'll have to head out. Wilson, tell a little bit more about what it means to be the mascot corporal. What does that involve?
So the idea of the mascot corporal is to have one student that has all the knowledge on what Reveille does, whether it's what she's eating, what she's doing, how far she gets walked on a daily basis. My job is to make sure that everything is being done to keep her in perfect, healthy shape and keep her happy as she can be.
Yeah, good. Is she happy most of the time?
Oh, she's doing great. Her energy after surgery has been extremely well. She's been jogging, running, doing everything a happy dog wants to do.
Perfect. Hey, Stacy, can you tell us what happened? Tell us why all this has even happened to poor Rev.
Yeah, sure. So I'll give you a little background. Collies are known for having a condition called Collie eye syndrome. And so we watch them, all the Reveilles, pretty closely for signs of this. It's a congenital abnormality that they will get and can vary for how severely they are affected by it. And so we watch her, we see her several times a year, and we watch those eyes really closely. And for Reveille, we actually had no indication she had any problems until she came in for her March visit with us. And it was at that time we noticed she actually had no vision or very little vision in that right eye already. You wouldn't know it. She was happy, healthy, eating, drinking, and so she actually had a retinal detachment at that time, which is one of the conditions this Collie eye syndrome causes. And so at that point she was happy, healthy, not really having problems in that eye. Again, something we wanted to continue to keep a close eye on. Wilson called in at the end of June and said, you know what, she's kind of been holding that eye closed and squinting it over the last couple of days. So we saw her at the beginning of July, and sure enough, her pressure had creeped up in that eye. And an increased eye pressure is called glaucoma. And so we treated her with some medications, but we know glaucoma is a progressive disease. Some dogs were able to control it really well and some we won't. And when I say progressive, what I mean is that pressure will continue to get higher and higher and higher in that eye. It basically causes an uncontrollable eye ache or headache. And so we tried some medications with her, and she was responding well to them, but that eye pressure was continually creeping up. And knowing where this condition typically heads, we went ahead with lots of discussions with Wilson and the Corps, made a decision to take her eye out, remove it prophylactically before it actually started causing her pain and discomfort. And so as we went in to perform that surgery, our ophthalmologist have her underneath an operating microscope, and they noticed abnormal tissue there. And we were going to do a condition in her eye where we basically put a fake eye in, a prosthetic in. But because of that abnormal tissue and a risk for cancer in that eye, we stopped, called in, talked with Wilson and the rest of the Corps staff, and made the decision to go ahead and take that eye out completely and not put that prosthetic in. And as Wilson said earlier, man, she's just recovered well. And she is happy, healthy, actually better than she was, because she didn't have that like low-grade pressure in her eye anymore. So she's doing great, and we're really happy to report that her pathology report was favorable. So it was not or a metastatic cancer; it was a benign cancer in that eye. So no risk of it spreading anywhere else in her body. And again, she's just recovered so well from that.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
So you're expecting full recovery, back to full duty?
She is full duty bound.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. How long do you think students will see her around campus?
Ooh, as long as she'll have us, I guess. Usually the Reveilles tell us when they're ready to retire, but we've got no indication of her slowing down whatsoever.
Super.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. By the way, you want to mention the surgeons?
Yeah, Sean Collins and Eileen Donahue are our ophthalmologists, and they did a fantastic job with her. From diagnosis all the way through, her primary care team of doctors were the initial ones that saw her that said, woo, this eye pressure's getting a little bit up, and got her over to the ophthalmologist, and they did a great job with her.
Yeah, having a world-class veterinary medical school right here at Texas A&M is just an unbelievable thing. And in this case, it just made this much, much simpler, easier, and more comfortable than it would have been otherwise for Rev. So thank you.
You're welcome.
We really appreciate it, Doc. Okay, Wilson, when she gets back to full speed here, what's a day in the life of Rev look like?
Well, now that Reveille is recovering well and recovering fast, you could expect her to continue going to class with her Aggies. on a day-to-day basis. We're going to ease her into it so that we're making sure that she's not getting nervous, that she's really fully ready to go back to that life. But so far, she's been doing 100% great.
Yeah. How many events do you typically do in a day with Rev?
Generally, we have about anywhere between 1 to 2 events a day. We're probably going to try and limit that so that we make sure that she's getting a good ease back into her full-time job.
Yeah. Can you tell all of us something we don't know about Miss Rev?
Something you don't know about Miss Rev is that I don't always have to give her breakfast on time, because she will, at 7 o'clock every day, come in, kick her bowl down, and look at me and tell me that it is time for her to eat her breakfast.
Yeah.
She knows that she is. She knows who she is and how special, and she knows that she can demand it from me at any time she wants.
As she should be able to. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, don't forget that, Wilson. Okay, Stacy, what's it like in a vet school when Rev comes in for a checkup?
Oh man, there's the energy, as you can imagine, that goes with it, and from the moment she walks in the door, there's a whisper through the lobby and through the staff, and then the students find out about it. And Wilson can probably attest. He takes a few steps, takes a picture, takes a few steps, takes a picture, and everybody fights over who gets to be on her case, because they all want to be part of Reveille's care team.
I believe
so,
that.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, you've been doing this for 4 Reveilles.
4 Reveille's.
Is there a moment that stands out to you from your time as the primary caregiver for Reveille that you'll never forget?
No, I don't think so. I mean, they're all pretty special when they come in, whether it's watching the students light up or watching her light up when she gets in those rooms. So they're all pretty special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. One thing that we've got a lot of questions about is losing sight in that eye going to affect her? Does it affect the dog dramatically to lose her sight?
Not a bit, sir. So she was blind, essentially blind in that eye, and we had no idea. She had already acclimated to not really being able to have good vision on that side. So now she's pain-free. She has no discomfort, no low pressure. So really nothing to do. When this is first diagnosed, when we first diagnosed a dog with blindness or a cat, sometimes we will tell people avoid or be cautious about approaching on that side, but Rev hasn't had any problems with that.
Okay, good. You've seen her acting differently in any way, Wilson, since she started her recovery?
Honestly, I haven't seen a thing that's been less than she was before surgery. She's been on the up and up, doing even better than she was before.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting ready for football season. So Rev's rested up right now for the first game. What do you do with Miss Rev to get her ready for getting into Kyle Field, for the crowd noise, for being around all the activity, the incredible chaos that is Kyle Field on Saturday afternoon?
Yes, sir. So football season is something that we see as one of the most important events that Reveille goes to throughout the fall. So we make sure that we prepare her to be ready for those runouts and for those noises. So we'll often do multiple morning practices where we'll go out to Kyle Field and play the music, so she knows how to react to when it comes out, and we make sure that she knows how far she's running, where she's going. She really doesn't need someone to hold. She would go exactly where she needs to be. She's done it many times, and she's a pro at it.
Yeah, so she's leading you around.
Oh, she's leading me around. I'm there for show, for sure.
Perfect. Doc, anything that Wilson has to be careful about this year in terms of overdoing it early on in her recovery, or is she good to go?
She's good to go. And as I mentioned previously, Wilson and all the handlers before him, they know her better than anybody else. They're the first ones to come and say, I think you need to check this out. So I have full trust that they will tailor her activity schedule and really be on the lookout for any signs of tiredness or lethargy, or that she can't go like she used to.
Yeah. What's the best part about being in the vet school at Texas A&M?
Best part about being in the vet school, I just have to say, is those light bulb moments where students are connecting what they're learning in the classrooms with what they're learning in the hospital, and then pair that with what they're able to share and show the clients who come in. We've got clients from all over the United States and beyond that come here, and so the students value that deeply, that they're trusting care to us, and they understand the gravity of that. So those light bulb moments are the coolest thing ever.
Yeah, I believe that. Wilson, what's the best part about being in the Corps, Texas A&M?
I mean, the best part about being in the Corps is just the instant camaraderie you have with the buddies that you go through the entire year with, and the entire 4 years. You're making lifetime friends and going through lifelong experiences that you'll be able to reference back for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Anything about being the mascot corporal that has surprised you?
Something that has surprised me is just being the mascot corporal puts me in a unique situation to just be able to see people happy all the time. Whenever I get to take Reveille out on a walk, without fail, I'll run into somebody who has been here for 4 years and has never run into Miss Reveille. So you have a unique position to be able to make people happy and make people's day pretty much every time you go out.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. What are you majoring in?
I'm majoring in agricultural leadership.
Fantastic. Does Reveille make all your professors happy?
You know, I took her to academic advising, and it was a fun experience. They were very happy to see me.
That's a good thing. Has she barked in class with you yet?
She barked in class once for me last semester, and they let me out. So it was really cool to see that experience happen.
Victory.
Yes.
Yeah, good call by that professor.
You walk in when there's a quiz going on, and all the other students will be like, "Yes, please, get us out."
That's good. So, Stacy, what's next for Reveille in terms of treatment? Any follow-up treatment that she needs to worry about?
Really nothing aside from her ordinary follow-up care. Her incision has healed. The left eye is not having any problems whatsoever. So it's back to routine frequency visits for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens, let's talk about Reveille 9 and 8 or 7.
yeah.
When Reveille retires, steps down, we have a new mascot in place, what happens for the mascot? What's the rest of their life look like?
Yeah, so the past couple of Reveilles have resided at the Stevenson Center, Animal Compare Center, and they have a life of luxury, I would like to say. They are queen bee in the Stevenson Center just like they are on campus. They still go get their hair done together periodically, so they get some playtime and interaction. But she is really there now as an ambassador for, of course, the university, but then the Stevenson Center in life and retirement. And again, she is queen bee there, and she barks when we come in and go over and welcomes and greets everybody that, of course, they come to see her, not the center. So she lives a pretty cush life.
Yeah. Wilson, for all those fish in E2 who want to be the mascot corporal next year, how does the process work?
So the process is something that happens later in the year where you will have the opportunity to learn all about Reveille's entire history, starting in 1931, working all the way up to current day, which is we do that so that they are ready to answer questions. They're ready to just have conversation with people. And it's been something that was one of the most unique experiences I ever got to go through. I learned a lot, and being able to just talk to people about who went before me was one of the most influential and life-learning things I've ever gone through.
Yeah, you talked about the history of the mascot. So what did you learn about the history of Reveilles from the beginning that got your attention?
So one of my favorite facts about the history of Reveilles is the first two Reveilles didn't actually have handlers or owners. They were just free range around campus. They interacted with students, and every time there was a football game, the yell leader would go and put the blanket on her and bring her onto the field. So I love that there was such a unique, they were the mascot because everyone loved them. They were cherished. And they kind of took that moment for themselves.
Yeah. For people who don't know, when you go home on a break, you take Reveille with you.
Reveille goes with me everywhere I go. So when I get to have a break from our summer break, she goes with me. And my parents were very happy when I walked in the door. I don't know if they were really looking forward to see me. They were just like, "Where is Rev?" Which was so unique, being able to be in another city where you still run into Aggies all the time, and just. It's fun to see people seeing Reveille even outside of College Station because she gets recognized on the daily, even when I'm back home in Fort Worth.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. What do you want to do when you leave Texas A&M?
I'm hoping to end up in the nonprofit realm. I'd like to do something a little less corporate. I'm a big people person, so I enjoy talking to people. So I'm looking for something a little more relational.
Yeah, fantastic. You can do anything you want, dude. Anything you want. Just got to work for it. Mm-hmm. Stacy, lots of construction going on over around the veterinary teaching hospital.
Yes, sir.
As the new hospital starts to take shape. What do you think? Can you tell us about what's going to be different about the new hospital?
Wow, yeah, that's a busy corner right now. The crane went up last weekend, and so they're busy drilling the biggest pylons I've ever seen into the ground right now. But it's going to be a fantastic complex. easily double, if not triple, where we're in right now, and it will allow us to do the things that our space constraints haven't been able to. We haven't been able to do because of that right now. So, state of the art, everything. The students, the teaching technology that's in that building is fantastic. Our OR's second to none. So it is just going to be fantastic when it comes to life in 2027.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's exciting. It's really
Yeah.
exciting,
Yeah,
actually.
it is very exciting.
Yeah, my dogs are patient, so we're excited. Dr. Bonnie Rush just arrived as your new dean.
Yes, sir.
And have you had a chance to meet Dr. Rush yet?
Yes, sir. I met with her at 8 o'clock every Monday morning, and I'm very excited to be working with her. No nonsense. Let's get it done. Very involved. Lots of question asking. So it's been really fun to step into this with her.
Yeah, great career. A lot of time up at Kansas State, and a great Aggie mom, too,
Yeah,
which
that's
never,
right.
never hurts.
That's right.
Super. Wilson, want to give a shout out to anybody in the Corps?
I'd like to shout out my company E2. So my third and second handler, Will McBride and Julia Loken, they do a lot of work to help me keep Reveille in perfect shape. They're very good supporters, so I give them a shout out.
Fantastic. Thank you. So what happens to mascot corporals when they walk off into the sunset at the end of their sophomore year?
You know, anything can happen. We try to always put out for a lot of other organizations in the university. Most corporals want to do something else after they're done with Reveille. It's definitely a very unique experience. It's hard to really match being able to be with Reveille on a daily basis and then go back to what the normal student life.
Yeah, I know one of them became a yell leader.
Yeah, a few have.
Yeah, over time there's been several, I think. Yeah, pretty cool. Stacey, anybody in the vet school you need to shout out?
Ooh, the incoming first year veterinary school class. They start on Monday morning. They're there for orientation right now. They're so excited to be there. So shout out to them for making it this far.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. I just want to thank both of you, not just for being here today, but thanks for what you've done to take care of this beautiful girl here. We have the coolest mascot in America, and she is the queen. And she is in great shape. For those of you who haven't had a chance to pet her a little bit and see her when she's awake, she's really doing well. But she's doing well because you took great care of her, Wilson, when she needed it. And Dr. Ekman, you and the entire team at the vet school did the things that were scientifically possible to make sure that she started to recover. Thank you for everything you did. And thanks for everything you've done for years to take care of Reveille. And Wilson, best of luck to you, bud. Can't wait to see you running that nonprofit.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Gig 'em, gang.
Kick 'em.
Gig 'em.
And thanks. We'll be back after the break.
Did you know KAMU Studios offers 14 original shows? All of these locally hosted productions are featured on our local shows, series, and podcast webpage. Topics cover Texas A&M, art, politics, music, books, gardening, community issues, and more. Find what interests you on our website. Then listen on your favorite podcast platform. Go to tx.ag/KAMU-FM shows and start listening today.
Okay, we're back. Got one question from the audience that was sent in this week. And it's, as the new semester begins, what are your top priorities for the university this year? It's a great question. I'll tell you mine, and then we're going to talk about it a lot this fall in our convocation on the 30th of September. We're going to talk about it with the Faculty Senate. We're going to talk about it with the Council of Deans and make sure that everybody's on board with our cabinet, which just talked about some of this stuff yesterday at an offsite. First of all, we need to complete our quick look assessment. We're down to the last two pieces of the university that we haven't had a chance to fully assess. That's the athletic department, which we delayed because we had a new athletic director come on board, and the Health Sciences Center. And we're going to start both of those assessments this fall and complete them during this academic year. We are also in the middle of the Texas A&M 2040 vision document development. We have a number of people around campus working very, very hard on 9 different committees to look at where this university needs to go over the next 15 years or so. And so thank you for all the effort people are putting into that. I'm excited about where that's going, and we'll get that done during this academic year. I'm also hoping that Aggie Athletics finishes in the top 5 of the Learfield Cup this year. For those who don't know, Learfield is a competition, a national competition that accounts both academic success as well as athletic success and student athlete performance. And I think we can do that. We've got some phenomenal people in our athletic teams, and I'm really excited about seeing them on the field and how well they do in the classroom. I think we need to come up with 5 new National Academy members on our faculty this year. I would like to see at least 2 of those be homegrown. So faculty who've been here for years doing phenomenal work, gaining national, international recognition, who join the National Academy of Engineering or Science or Medicine. I'd really like to see that happen. And then as we recruit new talent, we need to find people who are eminently qualified to inspire our younger faculty to follow in their footsteps. And then finally, I would like everyone at Texas A&M, every student, every faculty member, every staff member to attend at least one Silver Taps or Midnight Yell or Muster or Bonfire Remembrance, at least one of those things during the course of this year, because I really do believe that understanding and excelling at Texas A&M requires you to feel the place. And you can't feel the place if you don't show up at those kind of events here in Aggieland. So I'd encourage you to do that early in the year. First Tuesday in September is the first Silver Taps. Just saying. I'll see you there. Okay, just wrapping up that last segment. I got to tell you, hearing from Dr. Stacy Ekman on the work she's done over the years to take care of our mascot reveille is just really kind of inspirational to me. She's a great medical professional. She's a great professor. She's a great human being, and she is a great Aggie. So it was really cool to have her here. And I think Wilson Winchester just represents every student on this campus, every member of the Corps of Cadets just so well. He loves what he's doing now. He loves reveille, but he loves representing Texas A&M more than he loves anything else. He's going to have a great, great future, and I can't wait to see what he ends up doing. Couple of final thoughts for me. New semester getting ready to kick off. We've got about 15,000 new students coming onto campus, about 12,000 or so new freshmen, and roughly 3,000 transfer students coming in addition to some new graduate students showing up on campus. About 22% of this new class are first-generation students. 94% of them are Texas residents. So we're staying true to that land-grant mission, and we'll continue to do that into the future. I mentioned the Convocation and State of the University address. That'll be on the 30th of September. Convocation's a big deal. It's when we come together to celebrate the academic mission of the university. It's a time to highlight our faculty, to talk about where we are and where we think we're going, and I'm looking forward to that. 30 September is that date. Remember, you can submit questions if you have them for the podcast at our website, tx.ag/@ease. tx.ag/@ease. And finally, let me just tell you that we got a whole bunch of sports getting ready to kick off, and we need to go cheer them on. Soccer team's beginning their season. Volleyball team is beginning their season. We've got a whole bunch of others getting ready to kick off here in the next 3 weeks to 4 weeks. Of course, first football game sneaking up on us at the end of August. First Midnight Yell the Friday before. So I'll see you out there. One favor I'd ask, when we sing the national anthem at our sporting events, we sing the national anthem. It's a chance to remind the rest of the country and anybody who's listening from around the world that Texas A&M is proud of being part of this great country. We're patriotic. We're proud of it. And we want people walking out of our stadiums and our venues thinking, dang, I never heard it sung like that by 40,000 crazy students in the 12th man or by everybody else in the stadium who's listening to them and being inspired to join them, because that's what will happen. If our students sing, everybody sings. So let's honor America that way, okay? Do me a favor. Help me out on this one. You don't want me singing loud in the microphone. That would hurt you. But that's what I'll do if you don't sing with me. So let's go get it. And finally, thanks for everything you do to make A&M proud all the time, each and every one of you. I literally love our faculty, our staff, and our students, because everybody here cares about the right stuff. They care about doing the right thing. They care about things that really matter. And they take on lives of meaning because they want to make a difference in this world. It's a great place to live, work, and learn, and it's wonderful to walk across campus with you. Take care of yourselves. Gig 'em.